Hello, hello. Let me see if we are live here. Yes, we are. Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's April 22nd. Let me mute myself here. I love when this happens, right? Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining me today for another Quality live video inside our private Facebook group. I like to call this Qualitative Wednesdays. If you're watching this live on inside our Facebook group or somewhere else later on, because I'm trying to post this on YouTube, you will you will see that I'm going to talk about implementing your data analysis plan. And that is something that is pretty much aligned with what I will be teaching inside the workshop that I am offering next Tuesday on April 28th. The registration for the workshop is going to be closing soon. I am going to close it on Friday, April 24th. So if you are still thinking about it but think you might want to join, make sure that you go and visit the website under resources. You can find more information about the upcoming qualitative data analysis masterclass. It's going to be really great. I am obviously biased, but the slides look awesome. The activities will be fun and engaging. I really enjoy teaching inductive and deductive approaches to qualitative data analysis. I have a very tactile activity, and of course, we will not be doing that in person, but I will try to mimic the experience and offer a bit of that as we meet live inside another private Facebook group on Tuesday. So, without further ado, I am gonna get going with today's topic and I'll get rid of that lower third so you can see me in full. So, today I'm talking about implementing your data analysis plan. I don't know if you noticed the picture where I had set up this live today. I love that picture. It's a clip art picture that has this room so full of so many things, and you feel just overwhelmed when you look at that picture. And the reason why I love that picture, and that picture is actually used by my mentor, Dr. Maria Mayen, and Maria uses that picture when she starts talking about that analysis. And the reason why I like that picture is because I do feel that when we are in the data analysis phase for most qualitative projects, we get to a point where we feel there is so much and it's hard to organize and know where to start. So I am a really big fan of having a data analysis plan, which is interesting. And I'm going to say that, put that forward, get over that awkwardness. As a student, I didn't have a data analysis plan. Yes, I didn't. However, when I was writing my thesis, I became very much a person that had to plan her work days and her work schedule. And now, when I mentor students, I really encourage them to create a data analysis plan. And whether you are a student joining us or whether you are an academic trying to build your research, qualitative research skills and knowledge, and if you are mentoring other students, I highly encourage you to start thinking how you can support them in having a data analysis plan. The first thing I need to say though, I think the best approach to data analysis is doing concurrently with your data collection. Ideally, we don't want to be those people who will say, oh, all the data is collected, now I have to analyze it. It's far from ideal in terms of being responsive to your data, making adjustments, and learning more as you go in your qualitative data analysis. So especially for certain methods. So, one in particular, if you're doing grounded theory and you're using a theoretical sampling, it's not even feasible, like it's not even possible to keep with the tenets of that method and collect all your data and do the analysis after, because it's so important to build the comparison between categories by exploring further, repeating interviews, doing additional interviews to explore a category that you found in a few or in some. So you need to really try your best to do concurrent data analysis with your data collection. However, we all know that, especially if we are going to be doing our transcriptions will be hired out. We will send audio recordings to someone so they can work on that for us. There is a bit of a delay there. And lately, what I have done with the students that I have worked with is encourage them to go back to their audio recordings, go back and listen. And it's hard not to feel that you're wasting your time because you're basically sitting in or like sitting in your computer and listening to an interview or a focus group that you just did or you did a few days ago. But I encourage them to start writing down things that came up for them, ideas that they noticed, and reflective notes. And that might be written, it might be audio recorded, or it might be a discussion between us. So I wanted to say that because concurrent data analysis might not sound like something that requires a plan. You have to do it as you go. Despite that, so let's assume we did concurrent data analysis, and that's great. That's what we want. That's the ideal. We still get to the end of a data collection period with a lot of data because usually we'll have to go back, make sense of everything together. So you might have documents, you might have some photos, you might have transcripts from interviews or focus groups. And now you feel like you're inside that room full of things and you don't even know where to start. I always say that, in my opinion, the biggest difference between the qualitative and quantitative data analysis is just the fact both studies usually end with a room full of data. If you have done quantitative surveys, you know that usually databases are huge, they need to be clean, etc., etc. However, when you choose the variables that you're going to analyze, you kind of like keep the other ones for a future analysis and a future study, and you work with a few of them that you found that it was interesting and you have a question that is looking at a correlation or causality depending on the study. However, the difference with qualitative research is that all the different things you have, they need to come together, and that is super important for the validity and the rigor of the study. So it's hard, and you basically can't really consider like leaving something out or ignoring a piece because you feel like you have too much. You really want to try to incorporate all the pieces. So that's when I say that if you can have a plan, it's very helpful. So I already said concurrent is ideal, and data intensity in qualitative research is one of the reasons that analysis is kind of like a step or a phase of the research that usually feels overwhelming, and people tend to talk about it in, oh my gosh, I'm doing my data analysis, like it feels exhausting and never ending. And to me, the fact that you have a lot to go through is probably one of the reasons why it feels overwhelming. And the data intensity there is one of the reasons why it is the way it is. So that's when I come with the idea of the plan. If you go back to the blog, and I'm going to put the lower third back here. So if you haven't been on our blog, I encourage you to go and look at the blog post that I'm talking about. It was back in January, and it's called Habits and Your Qualitative Research Trajectory. And what the next things that I'm going to talk about in terms of having a data analysis plan is pretty much also mindset. And it's something that I will be covering inside the workshop on Tuesday because I think there is a mindset component to going through data analysis. And we need to empower ourselves. We have to find the tools, the strategies we need to move forward with confidence and momentum with our data analysis. So, in this particular blog post, I was talking about a book that I read by James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits. And I talked about how I use that process and created many, he calls implementation intentions when I was writing my thesis. And those implementation intentions were pretty much I tried to make my writing and my reading for my thesis obvious. I tried to make it easy. I tried to make it fun. I tried to create a reward for when I accomplished the tasks that I had planned for my days. And what I want to encourage you to do is to really look at your data analysis, what you have to do. So let's play with a scenario where you have 12 interviews that you need to go back and really do that final level of coding and categorizing and merging categories and deciding what will be going into a thesis chapter or um, a manuscript when you're writing it. So you have to do that last like refinement and finding the themes that weave through that. Of course, in this example, I'm kind of like going with content analysis and what I have in one of the resources that is also available on the website. But depending on which method you're using, this might be completely different. But what I'm getting to and saying is you're at the final stages of your data analysis and you need to revisit 12 interviews or the transcripts of 12 interviews. What I would like you to try to do is try to remove the number of decisions you have to do as you're doing your work. Some decisions there are inevitable. You're going to decide on categories and their names, what stays, what doesn't stay, what is presented to your audience, what is not presented to your audience. But there are decisions that you can try to eliminate. And I think by eliminating them, it will be easier to gain momentum and to move forward. So some of these decisions are really more obvious than you might be thinking right now. It's basically how what is feasible for me? How many interviews do I feel that I can actually go through in a day without just hating the whole process? What is the best hour of the day for me to do that? I think it's so different for everyone, and the times that we are living with COVID-19 might also be changing that completely for you because maybe you were a person that worked super well. Kathy Mazek, who has a separate group related to writing, I should be writing. She calls it the tiger hour. So maybe you're the best hours of the day for you to write and work for 2 hours in the morning and now all of a sudden you can't, you have children at home, or it's just not working because it's the time of the day that you're taking to watch the news and you are not finding it's possible to even concentrate for that same 2 hour chunk that you were the most productive before. If that's your reality right now, don't be hard on yourself. Really find a like devise a plan that has strategies that are feasible for you. The biggest reason why I really liked Atomic Habits was because he talked about that. Like beyond having a goal. So let's say I want to finish my data analysis in a month. So cutting that goal, like I want to um, analyze three interviews during this week. You're really talking about the strategies you're going to put in place to make that happen. So I am going to go through two interviews on this particular day, and once I am done with that, I will take a break, FaceTime my sister, and then have a nice break, good meal, or a delicious snack or coffee, whatever it is that makes you happy. Coffee makes me happy, chocolate makes me happy. So those were things that I actually put in my implementation intentions when I was writing my thesis. And then I'll come back and I will try to write about those two interviews and move forward with my data analysis. This is basically what I wanted to share today. It's a bit about data analysis and how I really think a plan is important, and how I think a plan removes decisions that might be getting you stuck. Where do I start? What do I do? Like, how long do I need? And by doing that, you remove a bit of those decisions that you can remove and make your life easier and kind of like the process a bit more just seamless. And then you can really focus on the decisions that matter the most at the end, in terms of the end stages of qualitative data analysis. So think of your plan. The Quality Guide for Qualitative Content Analysis has a few strategies there, and it talks about whether you start, you go through your interviews chronologically, or if you go with the ones that are more content rich, if you explore the ones that are negative cases. However, you're going about it, it might be pretty much related to your method and what you did for your research. But the rationale behind what I am saying is really applicable across methods. It's really about planning your data analysis and moving forward with the momentum you might need right now. Um, so it's a bit of a mindset Wednesday, I think. I am super excited for next Tuesday. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit nervous too. It's the first time I deliver a workshop online, but it's not going to be the last, because I have a big qualitative course a launch coming up in the fall, and it's going to be at the end of September 2020, hopefully, and you will likely hear about that more than once. Um, but if you think that this masterclass is for you, uh, please reach out. You can find us at info@polyq.ca, and I'll be sending one last email today with more details about the class, and that is going to anyone who is subscribed to QualiQ. And I really think it will be a great workshop. If you can, and if you think this is for you, I will be there. And really, beyond being there for the 2 hours, one of the reasons why I'm using a Facebook group is to really be able to practice and create a community of practice and a safe space where we can share maybe not only the exercise that I will give, but share our plans, like how we are implementing what we'll be learning. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day. I must say that it's super nice where I am. We had a really long winter in Canada. I am in the prairies in Canada. It was cold until 2 weeks ago, and now it's been super nice and warm. So I'm very excited about that. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and take care of yourself and your loved ones, and I hope to see you on Tuesday if you're coming to the workshop. If you're not, I'll be here on Wednesday, and I'll do a bit of debriefing and share any highlights from that with you. Take good care. Bye, everyone.